All right, so let's start with the big story that we are tracking on WION at this hour. Facing intense diplomatic pressure from New Delhi to come clean on his allegations, the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has briefed the media in New York. Now, speaking on the sidelines of the UNGA, Justin Trudeau repeated his claims that New Delhi is in some ways directly linked to the killing of the Khalistani individual on Canadian soil. A somber-looking Trudeau also took some questions from reporters, but he's failed to back his allegations with any credible evidence. He's failed to add anything to what he had already spoken on the floor of the Canadian Parliament 72 hours ago. Trudeau, however, has tried to tone down some of his rhetoric and has said that he views India as a partner nation and has asserted that Ottawa wants friendly ties with New Delhi. Listen to some of the statements made by Justin Trudeau.
There are credible reasons to believe that agents of the government of India were involved in the killing of a Canadian on Canadian soil. And we call upon the government of India to engage with us to move forward on getting to the truth of this matter. There is no question that India is a country of growing importance and a country that we need to continue to work with, not just in the region but around the world. And we're not looking to provoke or cause problems, but we are unequivocal around the importance of the rule of law and unequivocal about the importance of protecting Canadians and standing up for our values.
All right, so this is the statement that has been made by Justin Trudeau. Remember, he's not backing down. Just after making that statement that he did on behalf of the Parliament, remember, he had said that he had no intention of provoking India, but he wanted some level of accountability for the murder that had happened on Canadian soil. He said that that was an infringement of Canadian sovereignty. Those, in fact, are some of the statements that were made by him. And now, speaking a little while back at the UNGA, the Canadian Prime Minister, despite the diplomatic row that has broken out between India and Canada, despite the fact that the relations between the two nations have in fact snapped, continues with the allegations that he made. And he's again come out and said that agents of the government of India were directly in some ways responsible for the killing of the Khalistani terrorist on Canadian soil. And therefore, he says that his assessment is on the basis of certain credible reasons. That is the term that he's used today, credible reasons. When he had made that statement on the floor of the Parliament, he had used the term credible allegations. But despite these allegations that have been put forth by the Canadian Prime Minister, there is very little that he's furnished in terms of proof. And Siddhant Sibal is, of course, joining us on this broadcast. Siddhant, we just heard from the Canadian Prime Minister there. He's not backing down. He's again reiterating exactly the same allegation that he made 72 hours ago.
Well, correct. This is the third time the Canadian Prime Minister is speaking on the issue since he first made those remarks in the Parliament. But essentially, he hasn't provided any facts and emphasized on the same thing. There was nothing new, essentially. But all in all, we know the repercussions since his remarks. There have been pretty much how the relationship has gone to a very negative terrain. India has suspended visa services. There is trimming down of the Canadian diplomats to the level of the number of Indian diplomats in Canada. We also know the expulsion of diplomats. We also know the issuance of travel advisories. And it looks like it's not stopping yet. The other waves of reactions are still yet to come. The diplomatic action is still yet to come, it looks like. And essentially, we know that it could be a case of Canada's domestic politics as well. Remember, Canadian Prime Minister is facing a lot of heat as well, including from the opposition, who have been saying that the Prime Minister needs to come clean on the issue. He hasn't provided any facts. And if you look at the allies, people and the leaders he has called, Americans, British, French, Australians, of which only the Australians and the British, the ministers have reacted, only saying that they're concerned, but they will still wait for the investigation to be completed. But essentially, we haven't seen any comments coming either from the US President or by the US Secretary of State. And it looks like the allies would be playing a tricky balancing act between India, which they need at a time when there has been aggressive Chinese action in the Indo-Pacific, and of course Canada, with which it has long-standing relationship.
Right.
But of course, these are allegations,
Right.
and they remain allegations.
Absolutely, indeed. So till the time the Canadian government can, of course, furnish some kind of proof, these remain allegations. Thank you very much indeed, Siddhant Sybil, for joining us and getting us those details there. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.